You're in a bull market, price is trending upwards. And then after that, eventually you'll hit the hot zone. And even during the hot zone, doesn't mean the run's over. You might stay a couple of years in the hot zone, and then you rack up the gains.
We're setting a bit of a historic precedent here.
Was it really that event that caused the rally to go up?
The economy is going to start suffering pain.
That's going to be bonkers.
Okay, everybody, welcome to another episode of Talking Trades with myself, Kevin Wadsworth, and my friend and business partner there, Patrick Karim. And apparently, Patrick, silver is approaching the hot zone. So perhaps you'd like to explain what you mean by the hot zone and what we can do about that.
That's right, guys. Look, yes, silver's approaching the hot zone. This will be a zoom-backed yearly chart. It's like this is big picture stuff. It's important to know where you are in the big picture, because if you're approaching an area where even on the longest of time frames, you're running too hot or you're vulnerable, for some type of downturn, it's good to know where you're situated in the big picture. But also, of course, with some evidence, I'm going to show you some charts that we did way before this crazy breakout we've had in the silver, how it looks like when you're not stretched, when you're not in the hot zone, where you're starting to ramp up, and we have the evidence that we have a higher probability of going to a hot zone. Okay, guys, so what do we have here? Every time you look at a chart, you have to look at top left corner. So this is silver, 12-month candles. So every single one of these candles is 12 months. It reduces a lot of noise, guys. This is big picture stuff. And when you're an investor or even a stacker, but a position trader, somebody that wants to hold for many years, you want absolutely to know what's happening on that higher time frame. All right. At the bottom here, I have a custom oscillating index MACD. But this oscillator, usually it's not an oscillator, it's an indicator, and it could go super high, super low. It doesn't mean that much. It means it tells you where the trend is going. But we created this oscillating indexed one where I know it will never go above 100. It will never go below 0. So I have a meaningful oscillating indicator. And I know that when the price is going crazy up, I hit the hot zone. You see here, year after year in the 1970s, silver was in the hot zone. MACD was redlining, which is great. It's when you detach from it, that's a problem. And something at the bottom here, it was in the cold zone, but then it slowly started detaching from the cold zone. And then after that, we had to move upwards. But I want to show you guys, before I show you that chart, I want to show you the one we did back in September of 2023. So goodness, over a year ago, we did the same chart. I just want to show you here in real time how we identified it. Here on the yearly chart, I had this descending trend line right here with those 2020 peaks, and see the wicks, can't close above. And I know the year is not closed yet. And the price, well, right now is much higher. So it's above that. It kept staying above this. It'll be very unlikely that we close below that red line. It's highly unlikely we close below $31 on the year close. So we're going to have this yearly defined breakout on the yearly chart for silver. High likelihood, unless some crazy stuff happens until December 31st, we'll have this horizontal line breakout. That's like crazy. Like that's the chart. Now I'm starting to see like people showing that chart, but Kevin and I have been doing this chart for many years. Beautiful cup and handle breakout here. We have this also simultaneous breakout out of this slightly descending red resistance line. So double whammy. But we also back here. So even if the candle was not closed yet, but I just want to show you here on the MACD indicator, oscillating indicator, look how low it was. But it's not that it was low. It was doing higher lows, higher highs, uptrend on that oscillator. And look, that's when you get higher chances of having these moves going upwards. So this, you could see this as fuel in the gas tank. So this, as the oscillator is trending upwards, that means the price has to go upwards, or the price going upwards makes this oscillator going upwards. And here I put this approximative line here because it doesn't have 3 bounces. As long as the oscillator stays above this line, then you're all good. You're in a bull market, price is trending upwards. And then after that, eventually you'll hit the hot zone. And even during the hot zone doesn't mean the run's over. You might stay a couple of years in the hot zone, and then you rack up the gains. And then when you detach, that's when your problems. The melt ups, they happen above here. See that big rocket ship I put up here? It's not reading tea leaves. It's not, just putting rocket ships to put a rocket ship. Is we know with evidence, and we've seen this with tons of charts, that once these meaningful levels are identified and then we get closes above them, it's a game changer. It doesn't mean they always resolve upwards, but we have increased chances that they will. So now I'll show you the chart, that what it looks like today. And yes, 2024, we did not close above. So in 2024, that's it. We had the breakout out of this slightly descending trend line, which is great. That was step number one. But then after that, it halted at 31. It did not have enough juice to get there. It used a lot of energy probably just to break out here. But look at that. So we had that breakout 2024, that descending trend line, great. But look what's happening now. Kaboom. Now, there's in all likelihood, this will be a yearly defined breakout. My goodness, a yearly defined breakout. You will not see these every day. You will see these once a year. You have a chance of having that. And this one took, what is that? I have to do math there. 45 years to morph into existence, right? Had to do a huge bear market, had to do bull market, had to do a bear market, had to do a bull market to actually do this. So this is crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. But look where the hot zone is now. We use a lot of energy to get to this crazy candle right here. So we're not in the hot zone yet. Silver, it might go sideways like in 2008. It could stall a little bit here, but it's not at the end of its run based on this indexed MACD oscillator. It still's got some juice left. Maybe next year, consolidate, keep going higher. And then I don't know how long we're going to stay in the hot zone. So the hot zone is when you have those final melt ups in price. They happen once you tag that hot zone. So we're not quite there yet. There's still some room. Right now, it took a lot of energy to go here, but there still is room before we even hit the hot zone. Then after that's a question of how long you stay in the hot zone. So we're still there. But remember, look where the lowest entry was. It was found down here, right? That's where you want to get in. A lot of people talking about silver, and it doesn't mean the price stops going up because people are talking about it, but it's not the lower risk entry point. And that's just where the chart is right now. You can't force these into existence. You have to be able to look at the charts, recognize them as they're happening, and place your bets when those low risk entry points are starting to appear, when they start moving into existence.
Yeah, and this is where it's really important to sort of identify yourself as either a trader or an investor or potentially a stacker, because you will respond and react to these long-term charts in very different ways. They provide a long-term roadmap, but if you're trading on a much shorter time frame, of course, then that big picture backdrop is also going to be very useful for you, because you want to know if you're in an overall bullish environment or not. Brilliant stuff as always, Pat. Thanks for that. And if you enjoyed that and you'd like some more, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you back here for more Talking Trades.